Hey guys, I think a lot of people have been having difficulty getting their head around the way that Etherpad handles applying style objects to the iframe. This is the iframe here, it's the editor part, and it is a bit tricky. The way that it actually applies these styles and attributes isn't in the pad2.js, which is the main JavaScript for what you see on the page, which controls your how you interact with the page. So it's a little bit tricky, so I thought I'd just make a quick little video, just kind of talk you through it, to show you how I'd go about solving a problem. So the problem that was passed to me was we need right to left language support. So the first thing that I'm going to do is say I'm going to add an attribute here that says is right to left on by default. Nope, so that's false. And we're going to scroll down to where we've passed the params. You can hear the get params function. We're going to allow this to be passed as a parameter in the URL. So RTL, get that as params, RTL. Actually, what I'm going to do, for the sake of this demonstration, so this is going to be our global value. The RTL is true. Just going to make a quick note of that so I don't forget. Okay. So after we've got it as a parameter, what we do is a quick if statement. So we say at the bottom of this section, after the if QR code, if RTL, then what we're going to do is set the global value to true. So that was RTL is true equals true. But instead of just doing it that way, we're going to say if RTL equals true, and we have to use a string here because we're passing it as a URL. So what we've got now is a global value that we can now pass to the next function. So you'll see here, if we look for search for no colors, you'll see we've got another function here that does a change view option. Now I'm going to take you through the steps that we go through as far as change view option and sets after that. So we're going to do if RTL, if RTL is true equals true, then we're going to do a pad change view function for a pad change view option for RTL. Oops, RTL. Okay, so now we've got something that says basically if RTL is true, then change the view option. So if we look at change view option, the actual function, you'll see what it does is it passes the option to, where is it, handle options change. So it passes it to another function, and then this function then passes it as basically as a pair value. So in this case it's RTL true through set view options. Now you'll see that set view options is part of the pad editor, so what we have to do is then exit this file, go to pad editor, and what we'll do is we'll search for the color option again. So here we go. No, we don't want that one. Right, here we go, this is what we want. So you see here that there's something that sets it to the ACE as a property. So the ACE stands for Abstract Collaborative Editor. We're going to say RTL is true, and then we're going to say we're going to pass that as the actual value that gets passed. So by default we pass it as false. When we set it as a parameter, it now gets passed as true. What we should, it'd probably make a bit more sense to do an if statement there, but just for the sake of this example, actually I'll just show you what the if statement will look like. It'll look like if RTL is true equals true. I'm pretty sure we set it as a true false. Anyway, it looks something like that, but because I can't remember off the top of my head if it's actually true or false, or if it's a string, I don't want to confuse us there. So we've now set the property in the Abstract Collaborative Editor, pad editor.js. So we're now passing this to ACE2 inner, and what we do from this point is we look for set view. No, we don't. Sorry, it's set property. Okay. So you'll see here, K is the K is a key, funnily enough, and you've got all these different things. So we're going to say else if K equals, and we called it RTL is true. Then, so this is kind of where it gets a bit strange. Abject's got its own way of handling CSS. Uses set class presence, and in this case, what we're basically saying is, to use if it should use a certain class in the CSS. Now we've not put that class in, we're going to do that next. So basically what we're saying here is if it's true, or if it's being passed, then what that'll do is it'll pass the key, K, which is a key for RTL is true, and then the value. So in this, hopefully we'll be passing RTL is true, and therefore apply the RTL class to root. And so we're going to go ahead now and apply this class. And I do agree that it is slightly confusing, and that's why I'm trying to kind of explain this now. So I'm going to create an RTL class. Try to remember how to do right to left. That's it. Okay, so in theory that should work. There's no guarantee. So you see that that's not applied by default. So because use RTL, I can't remember what we call the actual parameter now. RTL. So if I set RTL equals true here now. Okay, so you'll have seen that that's not actually working, which is kind of useful. What that's going to allow me to do is show you how to debug. Debugging the ACE2 in is a bit of a pain. One thing that you need to do is you need to open up your Firefox, go about config and disable memory cache and browser file cache. And the reason is because the ACE2 inner JS is inside of an iframe, it'll cache that iframe, so actually debugging it without doing that will be a real pain. So that's just one tip that I've got for you. So what we're gonna go ahead now and do is just some debugging just to find out. So why did it not apply that? Now we can do that in the browser, or we can just do it in here, because it allows me to teach some more tricks. So you're gonna want to use window console log instead of just console log. From there I'm just gonna bash a string and we should see that come up. There we go. Okay, so we know that RTL is true is being passed, so we can assume that we can assume that this should work. Okay, you can see that that's happening. So pad change view option. So we go into pad editor, change RTL, and what we'll do is we'll just window console log RTL is true to make it sure that it's getting passed as true. So we should see true come up. Yep, that's good. So we know that it's now getting passed to the ACE2 inner. So we're going to search for RTL. Probably a bad idea. Let's try RTL is true. It's better. We'll do a window console .log blah. Okay, so you see that we didn't get blah. So we can kind of assume that K is not RTL is true, or we've got some sort of typo going on there. What we can do is window.console.log K. Oh, actually I think I'm inside of an else if here. Let's try that anyway, just in case. Yeah, that's a bad place to do that. Just drop that from there. I think we can put it. Okay, so there you go. You see that RTL is true. It appears to be getting passed as all lowercase, which is fine. We just drop that to there, like that. Hit refresh. Okay, you'll see it's put the text right to left now. So 10 minutes to show you how to do that. I agree that it's not the most pleasant way of changing styles on a page, but it kind of makes it more sustainable as we move to the future. It kind of makes things a bit more strict. It means that all the style stuff's going to be in the CSS, and we just assign classes from the JavaScript. I hope that's made it a little bit easier for people to go ahead and debug and work with the actual editor itself now. I hope I've covered as much as possible as well. Apologies for the length.